welcome. I am Sarah Lerma-Lo and this is Let's Do It Anyways, a channel created by rebels for rebels in business and in life. This is a channel for people who are willing to go after what they dream of regardless of what everyone else thinks and regardless of the odds. Today I want to tell you about a strategy you can use to have a business that sells from day one, a business that brings you profit from day one. And maybe you are an entrepreneur already, you already have a business, you're looking to expand it. Maybe you do have a business but you are looking to open a different one, or perhaps you have that entrepreneurial flame burning in your heart and you are very eager to open your very first business. If you are at any of these stages, this is the perfect place to start. There are several different ways to start a business. Of course, we all know the traditional path. You have this great idea, something you're passionate about. You have this service or product or industry idea that's gonna come and just change the market forever. It's sexy, it's big, it's different, it's amazing. All you have to do is build it from scratch, put a lot of money into it, then go and convince the market that they need it, that it's different, but it's perfect, and then sell it, and then you'll start to make money. Needless to say, that's gonna take a really long time. It's gonna take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of tears, and like I already said, a lot of money. This is how we have been building businesses all over the world for decades and centuries, and this is just the normal way to do it. And they're always telling you, follow your passion. If you're passionate, money will come on their own. And that's not necessarily always true. We all know someone who opened a business they love with an idea they thought was going to change the world, and just within a couple of months they had to close because they weren't selling anything, because nobody seemed to need what they were trying to put out there. So what's the alternative, you ask me? And I'm going to tell you today about owner financing. Shout out to my girl Cody Sanchez, who actually taught me a lot about this through her videos, her content, and now her new book. Actually, let's make the shout out even bigger. I have her book right here and it's amazing. I truly recommend it if you're looking to open a business, whether you're going to use the owner financing system or just the traditional one. Either way, you should totally read this. Anyway, owner financing makes it a little bit less exciting but way more safe. It's a sure way to start a business that's going to make you money on day one. But what is owner financing? Well, long story short, you're going to find a business that is closing, whether because its current owner is ready to retire for whatever reason. Maybe they are at a retiring age, maybe they are moving to a different city, maybe they just have different life goals or they got a job. And even though they love this business and this business is profitable and has been running for years, they really don't have the time, the energy, the health, or their resources to keep running it. So what are they going to do? They're just gonna close it down. This is where you come in and go and make this owner an offer to keep their dream and their legacy going. You're going to pay them over time with the earnings of the business, and they are going to help you and basically train you to be able to run the business as well as they have been doing for several years. This business obviously has proven itself to be profitable, has proven itself to be successful over several years. It comes with customers, it comes with systems, it comes with everything you need to know and have to just keep making money like they have been for hopefully many years. Let me tell you the story of how I got my first owner finance business. I had been listening to Cody go on and on about this for maybe about a year. It was in the back of my mind and I definitely wanted to give it a go and was like doing a little bit of research. And during this year, I looked at several different businesses that seemed to be good options. I obviously look at laundromats, and if you have ever listened to Cody, you get the joke because she has several laundromats and she talks a lot about boring businesses and how boring businesses versus sexy businesses are the ones that tend to actually make the more steady money in the long run. So laundromats are a very obvious choice when you're thinking of boring businesses. So I looked at a few of those. I also did look at beauty salons and nail salons, which I had experience with, but nothing was quite clicking. Until one night I was watching a video with my husband where Cody was talking about that when you're looking to buy a business through owner financing, you need to think of your competitive advantages. So whatever works for someone else is not necessarily going to work for you, because each person comes with a different skill set, different education, different experiences, and just different focuses in life. So me seeing Cody become super successful with laundromats didn't necessarily mean that I was going to be successful as well. So me and my husband started to think about the competitive advantages that we bring to the table. In my personal case, I am very experienced with marketing, with AI, with automation, and creating out-of-the-box campaigns and events that help brands sell way more than they usually do. I am also very into fashion. I have owned before several different clothing boutiques, beauty salons, and nail salons. So I already know how to run those businesses. I already know how to connect with the customer, and all the experience I have creating, producing, and deploying content and marketing campaigns will come very handy whenever I will be running these business that we were trying to buy. So we were lost thinking about that, watching this video. It was a very long video, so obviously we both started scrolling through our phones. And as I was scrolling on my phone, I saw on one of the entrepreneurial groups that I am a part of, that one of the women was trying to sell the dresses from her business. And this was actually a business that not only I knew, but was an active client of for over 10 years easy. Name of the business was Dress Room. It was a business in my hometown that rented gowns and formal wear to attend weddings or graduations or whatever. This business had been open for 13 years. It was actually the very first dress rental that ever opened in my home state in Mexico. And this girl had just posted in this group that she was looking to sell all of her inventory, and she was selling all her beautiful, fantastic dresses for just $25 each. It's important to remember that I was an active customer of this business, so I already knew the quality of the dresses was great. I already knew every single one of these dresses was gonna be in great condition, was gonna be very trendy, and just show-stopping. So the fact that she was trying to sell all of them indicated to me that she was possibly going to close the business. So I immediately jumped up, paused the video, looked at my husband, and was like, hear me out, look at this. Do you see all the competitive advantages that I have for this business? We got super excited and decided to message this girl. We got super excited and immediately designed a strategy to message this girl. This is a perfect moment of the story to point out something really interesting. Most people have never heard of owner financing. So once you find a business that is perfect for you, that you have several competitive advantages for, chances are you're going to have to convince the current owner to sell it to you like this. This is not the norm. This is not how people do it. And you're probably going to have to sell them very hard to even convince them that this is a good idea. Remember, this is a financing over time system, which means they're going to hand you the keys of their business without getting upfront the money that they will want for it. So it's very important that you study as much as you can about this system so you can really convince them that this is beneficial for all parties involved. Well, I already knew this was gonna be the case, so I didn't want to come out super aggressive and be like, hey girl, let me have your business and maybe I'll pay you one day, right? Because this is exactly how it will sound to someone who's never heard about this system. So what I did instead was use this amazing idea my husband had and message the girl and say, hey, I have been a client of yours for the longest time. I already know all of your dresses are beautiful and in great condition. So how about you sell all of them to me? That's right, I want to buy every single one of your dresses. How about I buy you coffee and we talk about it? Needless to say, the next day, first thing in the morning, we were having coffee together. We actually connected very well and very fast because we had a lot of common interests, common skills, and I could see that she was actually very sad to have to close this business that she had been running for 13 years. Now, side note, a business that has been running for 13 years is just marvelous for owner financing, because if it has been running for 13 years, chances are it will at least be running for another 13 years. Now back to the story. She told me that she opened the business when she was still in her 20s and single. Is now married and has had 4 children. Also, she owns 2 more businesses that are newer and require a lot of her attention. So she really wants to focus on being a wife and a mom first, and then have those other 2 businesses sort of stabilize and see where they go. But she truly does not have the time or the energy to keep running this business any longer, even though she sees it as the first one of her babies and she is really emotionally attached to it. So this is a very difficult decision for her, and the only thing she could think of was just to sell the inventory and close the doors one last time, this time forever. So when I started telling her about owner financing and how her legacy will continue and her brand will still be alive and thriving and serving the community who already love it as much as I did as a customer, she was very interested. I told her how I rented from Dress Room the dress for my best friend's wedding, for my brother's wedding, for every single one of my graduations, and every single one of my big events. She truly loved how I was connected to the brand, how I already knew it and understood it, and wasn't just some random person trying to steal the business from her. Me being a years-long client only proved to her that she will be putting her baby in the right hands that would truly care for it. This was the first time for both of us, so we started drafting a contract, just going back and forth, making sure everyone felt comfortable. I would like to add right now, this contract was actually drafted by ChatGPT. So if you are not yet using AI, please do yourself a favor and start at least with the basics, which are obviously ChatGPT and possibly Midjourney. Those are the first 2 tools that I will advise you to use, and you can actually find tutorials for them in this channel. Well, after ChatGPT helped us draft this contract and this agreement that pointed what each one of us will have to do to make the transition very easy and fair to all parts, we started the process. And this is what I was initially handed. This is what the business looked like. And even though, like I already said, it had been open for 13 years, it had a lot of very happy customers like me. Truth be told, through the last couple of years, it had been sort of abandoned. Partly because she was busy being a mom and a wife, and partly because she had to be focused on her new businesses. As you can see, the business wasn't looking great. And it didn't look as good as I remember from the last time I ran. But not to worry, I was still super motivated to use all my competitive advantages to make it grow not only to where it was before, but to even greater height. The day I got the keys, I was over the moon. I put on my sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and I decided to go and make sure the place was clean. It definitely needed a deep cleaning, so I wanted to go under the dresses, on every corner, on the fans, and make sure it was squeaky clean before looking to make any other changes that it obviously needed. So there I was with a messy bun, sweatpants, and on the floor trying to reach a far corner that was super dusty when a customer walked in. Why? Because they already knew this place existed. They have been coming here just like me for over a decade. And guess what? On that first day, when I expected nothing but to try to begin my cleaning journey, I rented 3 dresses. Talk about motivation. And this is something that will hardly ever happen to a brand new business that nobody knows about. So this is the magic of owner financing. On the literal first day, you are very, very likely to make your first or several first sales. After that fantastic first day, we kept on getting all customers coming back. We renewed the social media that was also very outdated, and then we started to get new customers. We also decided to change the layout of the business a little bit, and in just a week or two, it went from this to this. So definitely an improvement. And what happened is that people start to see this improvement. They start to see us in social media. They start to see the new inventory and the fun reels, and everything that my marketing agency brought definitely made it grow. And it made it grow so much and so fast that this space just felt way too small. Some days we had people waiting in line to go into one of our 3 dressing rooms. We had so many inventory that we had to keep some of it in the warehouse because we had nowhere else to hang it anymore. And it just felt cramped, and we weren't delivering that amazing experience we wanted to have for our clients. So my husband and I sat down and decided that we needed to grow. Mind you, this was just a couple of months into buying the business. We already were aching to grow. We started looking at real estate nearby. We couldn't move too far away because people already knew it, and that was the whole point. So it needed to be close enough for them to be like, oh, it's now here, and not having to go across the city to look for it. After looking for about 2 months, we found what we thought was the perfect place. It happened to be maybe 3 or 4 blocks away. So the initial location was on a very important street, but the other one was on a main street. It had 3 different huge windows that we could use to exhibit the dresses and gather even more attention. But the thing was that to get all those 3 windows, we weren't renting just 1 space, but actually 2 spaces. One in the first floor of a building and one on the second floor of the same building. Those 2 spaces were not connected at the time, but it was really easy just to knock one wall down and they will be connected. The space though was huge. As much as we need a bigger space, this one was just scary big, scary huge. And we will have to grow so fast to be able to fill it up that I was honestly very, very worried. My amazing husband convinced me that it was a great idea and that this was the right place. He truly believed in the brand and believed in me and thought we could make it. So long story short, we decided to go for it. And going into Christmas season last year, we closed the doors of the initial location and started to tear down the second location. We literally destroyed the whole thing. We knocked down so many walls and so many different things, as you can see here, and started from literal scratch. This was a really fun time where I tried to have a very active role on the remodeling, and we ended up with this beauty. So we went from this to this in just about 6 months, or actually even less. The week we opened, we had people coming in. Not only people who knew the brand or people who saw us on social media, but many people that just were driving by. They saw the beautiful space, the beautiful dresses, and decided to come in and find the perfect outfit for their upcoming event. It was going great. We almost doubled ourselves in the first couple of months, but there was one problem though. the top floor was still empty. And we didn't really know what to do with it. We had a lot of ideas of doing upselling or connecting businesses or just expanding our inventory and then just having so many dresses for people to choose from, but nothing felt quite right. We came up with many ideas like maybe a nail bar or a beauty salon, a concept store, you name it, we thought about it. We did a couple of things like throwing an event for quinceañeras that actually went great. We held different workshops related to our business incubator and stuff like that wasn't permanent but just kept this space useful. During these months, I made sure to be present and be the one providing service to the customers, listen to them, and just really hear what was that they needed. And I started to notice very often they asked for wedding dresses, which was very weird to me because I thought the offer outside was very obvious, right? We do prom dresses, we do black tie dresses, and everything related to that, but not really bridal. And I couldn't understand why they even thought we will have bridal, but it just kept happening to the point that one of the brides actually had us order a dress from one of our vendors, and that's what she wore at her wedding. Then I started to really think about that, and I started to think about my own experience as a bride-to-be and how I didn't really have great magical moments when I was looking for my dress. Many people actually said rude things about my body type and even my skin color. And the one time I really liked a dress, I only saw it on a catalog. They didn't have it there to look at, not even on a different site. They actually didn't have any dresses. It was just the catalog. So once I chose the dress I liked, I asked the lady what we needed to do to get it for my wedding. She said I had to pay for the entirety of the dress, which was about $7,000, and then I will have to wait several months. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 months for the dress to come in, and then I will pick it up and take it home. I said, what if I don't like it? And she replied, it's a so-and-so brand. Of course you're gonna like it. Now, I'm not telling you this to hate on anybody. On the contrary, all I'm saying is that this got my brain going and thinking about how the experience I had personally could have been so much better. And maybe that's what the market needed. Maybe these girls were being mistreated so much, that's why they were asking us for wedding dresses, not because they thought we will have them, but simply because they liked the service we were providing them with. So I really thought there was something there. I started to think about it, but obviously, the main problem was the inventory. We had already invested so much money first on buying the business, then on getting the new location, renovating it, decorating it, and then all the new inventory we got to make sure it felt just very fresh and very trendy for the new customers that will come to this new location, right? So the last thing I could do at that time was order a bunch of wedding dresses just to hang them there and wait for people to come, especially this being a whole new brand and a whole new industry for me. Wedding dresses, like I just mentioned, are very expensive. The way the market has been blowing up these prices is just ridiculous. Bridal dresses can go from maybe $3,000 if you're lucky, but most likely they're not gonna go under $5,000, and depending what brand you're looking for, it's gonna be more like 7 to 10 to 15, and if you want the truly fancy ones, well, don't even think about it. In Mexico, this is an outrageous, ridiculous price for most people, but those are the options. So I actually started to hear that many of the brides, especially the ones that didn't wear regular sizes per se, were having to wear orange or yellow or pink dresses to their wedding because they couldn't afford anything else. So basically, if they didn't wear small, medium, large and landed anywhere outside of that, they will have to just wear a prom dress or something because they could not either find or afford a wedding dress. And that, as a person who was also planning her own wedding, just broke my heart. And then I started to think there had to be a better way to do this. And I put all my brains and all my outside of the box thinking into this. Now, at the time, me and my now husband were planning our wedding. I was also a bride-to-be, and I was going through all of this. I was suffering with all these crazy prices, not only on dresses, but also on everything else wedding related. If you've been married or you're looking to get married, you know what I'm talking about. But we're not here to talk about the wedding industry, but about my experience. So let's move on. I am not going to bore you with my thought process, but I found out there was a large amount of former brides, so wives I guess, trying to sell their wedding dresses online. These dresses were amazing. They looked fantastic, they were modern, they were trendy, they were beautiful, and they had of course only been worn once. And these ladies were selling them for great prices in comparison for how much they will cost at stores. But they were trying to sell them online, on social media or similar platforms, and so basically they were like, hey, here's my dress, are you interested? Maybe we can meet at the Costco parking lot so you can see it. That definitely doesn't scream bridal magic. And then it hit me. I could make money twice. I could take a consignment fee from these brides trying to sell their dresses, put them in a beautiful showroom, and then tend to the brides myself, give them a space where they could try the dress on, feel like brides, see themselves in the mirror, and then have all the experience of trying on a dress that was beautiful, but pay a fraction of the price. I wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but I thought I was up to something. I shared it with a few of my friends who were also entrepreneurs and other people in my circle, and everyone told me it was a terrible idea and it wasn't gonna work. But I had a really strong gut feeling about it, so I thought I'm just gonna go with it. You know, worst thing that could happen, nobody will answer to my offer, and if they do and then I don't sell them, oh well, I guess I could give the consignment fees back or whatever. Do you see what I did there? I did it anyways. I started very simple. I went to some of the social media groups where I had seen women posting their wedding dresses trying to sell them. And I made this very friendly, just, simple post saying, hey, are you looking to sell your wedding dress? Maybe I can help you. Then I created a Google form, again, with the help of ChatGPT, and I started to receive applications of women trying to sell their dress. I asked them things like, when was your wedding? Just to make sure that it was still gonna be trendy. What designer is it? And can you send me a photo of it? I was planning to select the dresses I thought were going to work best, but actually all of them looked fantastic, and me as a bride-to-be, I will have been super happy to wear any of them. Now, something else I asked them was the original price and what will be the lowest price they will be willing to sell it for. More or less, it landed on half of what they paid initially. I then scheduled appointments with each one of these women looking to sell their dresses. They brought them, I inspected them, I made sure they were in great condition, they were clean, and we signed a contract for 4 months, which was the time I was willing to give myself to see if it was gonna work or not. This contract that we signed was made by, you guessed it, ChatGPT. I gave them a copy, I kept a copy, and then I put a wheelie rack on the second floor and hang their dresses there. Then I went to my house, I picked up my sofa, my coffee table, and basically all the decoration in my living room, and I moved it to the store. Now I had no living room. If we wanted to sit down to watch a movie, well, we could sit on the floor. But I had something of a bridal store, and it looked more or less like this. Well, in 2 weeks, I sold my first wedding dress, and I made a bride so happy because she paid $500 for a pro novia's dress. Out there in the market will have been at the very, very, very least $2,000. Then it just kept going. I took a photo of the bride, I called the former owner of the dress, I paid her, and I took a photo of her holding up her contract with a big legend, of course in pink, that said sold. Then I posted both things everywhere, and I was like, hey, we are actually selling these pre-owned dresses. Will you like to bring yours? And I was like, hey, we have bridal dresses. Will you like to also find yours? And that's how it started. 2 months in, I had 50 dresses in consignment, and I also had about 6 brides who had already bought their dresses and many, many appointments of brides wanting to come in. Well, this convinced not only me, but the people around me and in my business that this was actually a great idea. So we kept going, and now we are about 6 months in. We actually created a sister separate brand with a different name to separate it from Dress Room. So now we have Dress Room and Kaifu, where we sell new and pre-loved bridal dresses in every size from extra, extra, extra small to 5X large. So every bride know you're gonna come to the store and you're gonna find the dress that suits you the best. You're gonna look amazing, you're gonna feel magical, and most importantly, you're gonna pay half or less of what you will have paid for the very same dress anywhere else. Kaifu is now making twice as much as Dress Room is. So in just a year and a half, we had tripled what we were making when we first started the business. And it's very important to know that when we first started it, the first day that we opened the door, we were already making money. It's just that now we have tripled it. I must be very transparent and say that we have actually not broken even because we invested so much, like I said, in buying the business, then moving it, renewing the first floor, and then building everything Kaifu needed to thrive. But we are well on our way, and with the help of my finance expert husband, I'm sure we'll be there in no time, and I am going to keep you posted. But I just wanted to share my story of how owner financing did something amazing for us, and it can do the same thing for you as well. If I can help you find the perfect business for you or grow the one you already have, please do not hesitate on sending me a message. You can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn. If you found any value on this video, I will appreciate it so much if you gave us a like, and if you subscribe to this channel, you will truly make my day. I will see you next time. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else about owner financing or the bridal and dress rental industry that you would like me to talk about in the next videos. I wish you have a wonderful day and make a lot of sales.